Greetings. Oh my goodness, I have woken up early this morning. I was so excited because all weekend I kept saying, I can't wait for Monday. I can't wait to be live with Randy. How much fun is it going to be to get a live channeled message around the spring equinox? So I'm going to start just for a second to say, welcome, Randi Botnick. For those of you who do not know Randi, she is one of the most influential, beautiful, wise souls on this planet, and I am not
Yes.
overstating. I'm really not. There's healing, there's psychic abilities, there's all sorts of just incredible energy that radiates from Randi in such a grounded and yet ethereal way at the same time. So if you do not know Randi, you got to come into this world, but that's why you need to come live to our event in April, because then you get both of us together in person. And how magical is that? So I invited Randi to come live together so that, again, this channeling that I've been talking about that we're going to be doing at the Power of Love event, April 14th, maybe you've experienced it, maybe you haven't, or maybe you have some other version of what, a channel or a message is, and really wanted you to experience how unique, how beautiful. It's like if you took yourself in a bath of love and you just like dunked your, like a baptism, right? Like a baptism of love, and you were being held by some of the best guides here to help the humans navigate. I mean, that's how I look at it. That's why, right, Randi, we were like, we got to do a live event together.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, these guides, I've never heard them say anything negative, never
Yeah.
scary. I've never heard them say, certainly they preach non-judgment. So they
Mhm.
want compassion, heart-centered, non-judgment. You know, their messages are always about our strength, our power, our own inner wisdom, and never about anything that lessens that for us. And so you're right. I also feel like it's a bath of love. I feel that way every time I channel, no matter where I am, whether it's locally or online or whatever. And so, yeah, so I want to just emanate that for everybody today so we all
Yeah,
feel it.
because I think sometimes, at least in my work in the world, people get nervous about messages. I have a beautiful friend, and she's like, "Don't tell me anything if it comes through bad." And it's like, I don't generally. I mean, there's some truth, right? There's some truth that comes through, but it's never in a
Always.
way that feels. It's not meant to scare us, and it's not meant to scare anybody. On what you and I are doing together is, I love this,
Yeah.
amplifying the power,
Yeah.
amplifying our own, soul human gifts here. And you and I both work with a lot of healers, entrepreneurs, coaches, like people doing this kind of work in the world.
For sure.
Where do they go? Where do they go to get restored and replenished and get clarity? You and me. All
That's
right.
right.
So do you think we covered the channeling, or do you have anything else to say? Or if you have a question, if you're watching live and you have a question for us, you can pop it in the comments all the way through. Our amazing creative producer, Richard Wilmore, is behind the scenes. He's going to help us with the comments as well too. So if there's something
Yeah.
else you want to share.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to share is either my eyes are going to be closed or I'm going to be looking kind of off. And that's
Mm.
just the way the brain manages the incoming information. For me, it's often visual. Um, in a way, like it's kind of hard to describe. Sometimes I see the words and other times I see an image that they want me to interpret. And
Mm.
so don't mind me that I'm not looking necessarily at the camera because I'm not really in control of that once it
I
starts.
love that. That's how, whenever I'm just doing work, I always tell everybody, my eyes are closed. You kind of go into a little bit different energy space, right?
Oh,
And
sure. It's
so,
definitely, it
yeah,
has to be an altered state
yeah,
because you have to turn off the thinking mind. It can't be about my thoughts at all. It's got to
exactly.
be the opening to allow this, this pure information to come through, which is why I never know what they're going to say in advance, of course, which is
Yeah,
appropriate.
totally.
And
They're not giving you the cheat sheet notes.
yeah, yeah. I don't get the cheat sheet, which is great because there's something very different about flow versus memorizing. And memorizing is work, and flow really isn't. So we're going to go into flow.
I so love that. And I think, one of the things I know, well, I presented a topic to them around the spring equinox because it's eclipse season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're right in the beginning period or energies of lots of things changing. Age of
Yes.
Aquarius, which if you missed our podcast episode, go check that out because that's amazing. And so there are all sorts of things just kind of, again, I think for us, but it can feel a little all over the place. At least I kind of woke up with that this morning, feeling that even just the weather here, there's a crazy snowstorm, it's windy, it's
I
sunny,
heard about that.
it's all it's like every season in the day kind of just it like just mirroring back to us, I think, what all this shifting that's going on. So I really wanted to know, and I kind of put out for the collective group of us, like, what is the spring equinox, like what are the messages that are going to be most helpful for us as we are meeting that later this week and into the eclipse in a
Yeah.
couple more days after that, right? Like all of that coming through. So I love it. And I channel, but very differently than you, which I think is wonderful, right? So people get to see that
Yeah.
there's not just one way to be able to be a channel, which to me is like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think that part of what's even going to come through in our workshop, our event in April is that, you know, we all can we all should be tapping in. All of us should be tapping in. We should all be in the flow whenever we can and receiving information and very much trusting it.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that
I
is,
think that's a really good point, Randy, and I know it's something that I feel strongly about for the April event is we hear it. I think a lot of us have been hear it for a long time. It's the how do we really live from a place where we're acting on it way more than just like, "Ooh, I heard that nudge, but I wasn't sure," right? I've lived in that space years ago where it was like, now I find myself way more like I really want to embody this as much as I can and really trust it. And it does, it takes this level of trust that I think, again, another energy that's coming in.
yeah,
And it doesn't surprise me. Leap year, leap day, lots of leaping. Also, that's the messages coming through my channel. It's
I
like
love that.
time to leap a timeline, time to leap through. We've done a lot of the healing of the past, and now we want to like almost like jump lovingly
Yeah,
into the starting line of the new space. So,
I love that.
okay, I'm going to read this beautiful poem that came. I was like, ooh, what does the event want to share with everybody? And a poem like bing, came out on the page. So while I do that, kind of just set the stage, we're going to invite everybody because you're going to kind of again take a moment to really connect in. So if you're watching live, you're watching on the replay, just find that place where you can come into yourself. You can listen to the poem. We're going to be quiet for a bit and we are just going to allow whatever wants. We're going to be in the flow of it. And then Randy will be able to ask some questions if we have a question or two as a follow-up.
Yes.
Okay, you'll let us know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is from Stripped. Kara Alwell is the author, and it's called Believe, which I think goes so beautifully with everything. If you believe nothing else today, believe that there is something else more mystical, more powerful, and more lovely than you could ever understand. Your only job is to let go and trust that every beat and every step and every inch of your world is lining up exactly as it should. Let go and let yourself be made by magic.
We come to you in peace. And we come to you in peace as the world turns over, as you would till the earth, as you prepare to plant. As you would ready all the ingredients coming together in the perfect conditions to begin to plant something new and vibrant, colorful, and full of love. The equinox is the Earth's new year, coming in at the first degree of Aries, the beginning of the zodiac. You prepare for newness. Now, this may not come to you that very day, and it may not feel like anything is shifting in your world. Indeed, for some, it has been tumultuous. Everyone experiences their world slightly differently. Everybody's experiences are the externalization of the inner belief systems. And yet, this is a time when the planet is literally renewing herself. She is turning herself over and lightening the vibration. This is all in accordance with the planetary alignments that are moving Earth and humanity and all the other inhabitants of Earth forward into something quite different. Many ask for predictions, and we tell you this: what will be on the planet over the next 5 and 10 years is nothing seen before. And even if we were able to tell you where it might go, you wouldn't be able to perceive it per se, because there's no visual that you have in your mind's eye that would match what we talk about. You see, the ability to imagine the future comes from only experiences of the past, whether you've had those experiences or heard about them. And the newness that's coming now will be beyond all past experiences. And this is very good. For the inhabitants of Earth and Earth herself are moving into an awakened time when the heavier, darker energies that are pervaded will be seen for who and what they are, and will no longer be chosen as the primary energies moving everyone forward. Instead, the primary energies will be that of cooperation, new innovation, the word is cleanliness. I think what they mean is not pollution. The opposite of pollution. and clean ways, and a return to an alignment between the spirit self, the human self, and the planet. This will be the alignment coming in. With that, awareness, memory, knowledge of the truth of each person's divinity is awakening, a connection to divinity that then opens into gifts, strengths, and skills that may have lied dormant or may have just not been addressed, will no longer be in the background, but must come to the foreground. So please feel within you now this beautiful opening that is to occur. Again, not perhaps tomorrow, not perhaps on the 21st exactly, not perhaps any particular day, but over time, over time, over time. And the new ones coming in, the children, will already have access to the information that is awakening in the older ones. The older ones will have the benefit of seeing the shift and having the memories of what was. And the new ones coming in over the next 10 years and since the last 10 years are bringing with them a frequency of energy that enables innovation and change and cooperation. We will come to you on April 13th together in group to support, to lift, to cleanse, and to infuse optimism and hope into your field, your mind, and the energy of your life.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. So, if anyone who's live that wants to ask a question, a follow-up, you still have the channel open. Rich, is there anything coming through that you're seeing? Because I don't see anything. Not yet. Okay. Not yet. So I have a question. This beautiful energy of optimism, is there anything, any practice that they suggest we do to just encourage ourselves to be in this, right, into these changing energies of cooperation, optimism? Like, there any practice that could be helpful, or anything that is a specific action that they see that we could
Yes. You know, it's about so I'm going to speak both from my already knowledge and experience of their messages as well as anything they want to filter in. But it's really about staying as connected into the heart and into the present as possible. It's about recognizing that all the external that's going on in the world that feels chaotic, that's fed through the media, which is very specifically designed to incite separation and what's the word? Not diversity, but you know the you know people going against each other. That
vision.
that division. That all of that is happening outside of us, and need not have anything to do with us. And so as we connect more deeply into the heart, hold our light, and keep our world very present in front of us, meaning don't expand out into the ills of everyone on the planet. It's hard, hard, hard to believe, especially when we're listening to everybody else's fear. But there's not one person on the planet that is in victim.
Mm.
Everybody on some level, maybe not conscious, but soul level, has choice. And we are best to stay in our own choice, our own heart center, and our own lives, meaning that we want to make the best choices we can for ourselves and hold the light as strongly in our own lives as we can. And that's really the very best thing we can do for the entire planet. I mean, not even just to help ourselves, stay
Right.
happy, but also to feed the earth the energy that she needs while she's going through these really
Yeah,
difficult stages.
that was interesting. I found it very interesting. I've never heard it where it's human, spirit, and earth together,
Spirit,
right? Spirit,
human.
yes. Thank you.
Yeah, either way.
But this and how this is shifting, right? To like, I talk a lot about human spirit, but I love Mother Earth and I feel very connected to her, but I didn't maybe see it that way or sense it that way, that it's really this kind of trifecta of all three of these energies. And it is opening into cooperation in the planet. And this is not to say they're saying just be selfish and not care, but it is, don't buy into, right,
Correct.
a lot of these fear-based things. That I was just talking to somebody last week, and it's like it's hard not to feel like the world is just the worst place ever
Mm,
when you listen in sometimes. So how can we create something different that isn't necessarily being fed by that, but we're feeding it, through different energies, through different course of action. I love that.
yeah, right, for sure. And yesterday I was channeling, I was here local in Asheville, and the information about um, the earth is a grid of light, and
Mhm.
then we are grids of light, and everything
Mhm.
on the planet, every other entity on the planet is a grid of light, and then the cosmos is a grid of light, and we're all intricately connected. We are not separate in any way, shape, or form. We're not separate from each other, and that's why today when they were saying, this, the awakening of the spirit and aligning into the human that's already aligned to the planet is where we're headed, which is
Yeah,
really exciting, really good for us, and never been done before, never been done before for humanity. This is the first time.
I love that, and we're all here because we're here for it.
I
We're
know.
totally here for it, and there's so many things can distract us away from that, and especially for those of us who feel very called to be front and center in whatever capacity. It can look very differently, but again, I think sometimes it can feel very lonely and isolating too, which is why we're gathering people together in April and saying, let's come together and really, hold the space for that. I know one of the energies that you and I both felt for this event is very restorative. There's a lot of clearing we've been doing. There's a lot of, letting go, but where's the balance to really restore ourselves too? So our energy feels, you're giving and you're offering from a place of fullness and not feeling like depletion, which I think a lot of people have given, and myself included, to the
Yeah,
point of depletion or from a place of depletion, and not really understanding when I was younger how to do it in a different way, right? That was kind of, I was operating from a system like this is the way. And I was like, maybe not so much. And
that,
dismantling all of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And for me too, the event is going to be about, you know, we call it the power of love, and it's because we do have this sense of dread and exhaustion, and this sense that, you know, how can we stay optimistic? And what I'm really looking forward to in our event is uh, kind of infusing all of us there with that optimism, with this open hearted sense that, yes, we can move forward in the world. We have the power within us to move forward in the world. And just merely by holding that energy in our bodies, we're making positive change.
Yeah, I love that. I so love that. And then, of course, we're going to pair it because, I love and we all love to be nourished. There's going to be amazing food and
I can.
other community. I think, yeah, like I wrote a post just, I don't know, the other day because somebody said to me, "Why is there food?" I'm like, wait, what? There's got to be a meal here because it is about taking that time with each other. And I've had at events I've been at or events that I've facilitated, you could have a conversation with somebody 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
Yep.
life altering. And
Yep.
so everybody brings all their gifts into that group and we all get to serve in such ways with each other. It does shift things. I'm never the same after attending or facilitating
Oh, for
events. It
sure.
always is it's a
Oh,
different
yeah.
energy on the other side, which I love. And
Yeah.
and
And I
go ahead.
think I think there's been a dearth of community, you know, because we got used to this, which
Yep,
is great. I'm so
yep,
glad we're doing this. And, you know, to be together in community, going back to the circle of women, going back to the well, going back to, you know, um, sacred feminine wisdom, all of that is coming together for this event. It's going to be
I love that.
awesome.
And one of my other favorite things that you and I have already planned and that's come through is, you also go to one of these events, you're on like the highest cloud ever. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going into my, I would say it this way, regular real life, and I'm
Yeah.
doing the dishes or the car's not working, whatever. One of the things that we're planning for is how do you take what we do and how you feel and all of that comes through the channel for all of us. How do you take it and integrate it forward? Which I think a lot of times events, as much as they're amazing, they miss that part. And
Right.
so we are being very intentional about wanting everybody who's there, to take that with them in a way that you carry that through, not just being at the event and being inspired, but a day later, a week later, a month later, still really have that anchored into you in a way that is supportive in daily life.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. To keep the community going.
Yeah, I can't wait. I have no idea what I'm wearing yet. I'm so excited. When I get there, I know I'll be like, I won't, I barely slept this weekend because I was so excited.
I love that you mentioned the clothing. I mean, that's just
Oh,
such a big part of it, you know, like how you
fun.
show up,
Yes.
what expression you want to have, you know, how you want to like
Oh,
you know, show everyone who you are. It's
I
such a
know.
cool and amazing part of it. And I think that's
It's
what
so
the
fun.
food is for too, you know,
Yeah,
both.
absolutely. Delicious, delicious. And if you are listening and you have any kind of allergies or trust me, I'm living that right now. We got you. So we are a farm to table. If you don't know 111, it is incredible. And the restaurant, we have it all to ourselves. So we're not sharing space. We're
Yeah.
not having to worry about other people. We are going. It always reminds me of, there's a scene, I think it's Sleeping Beauty, where the fairy godmothers get together in the house and they're doing so, they take their wands out or something and there's like sparks coming out. They're like, ooh, that, like, they don't want anybody to know because they've got to keep it a secret or whatever. But like that's what's gonna happen. There's gonna be this beautiful auric glow around 111. And if you want to know more information or you have more questions, Randy or either of we can answer that.
Yep.
There's lots of information on the web page, and Rich is going to put up the place where you can also just directly register. You're in. Bring your best friend, right? Bring
Oh my
somebody you
gosh.
love. Bring your mother, daughter, whatever. Bring people. let's bring women together, like you said, and come back to this energy of in-person community that has been missing for so long.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
All right. That's it on my, unless Randi, is there anything I missed or you want to say that I have not mentioned?
Nope. No.
Okay.
If you want to, no, but one other thing is,
Yeah.
I have a YouTube page. Just search with my name and you'll find it. And I have a lot of channeled messages on there, and so you can get even a little bit more of a flavor, and you can bask in the energy of that as well. Because all the messages, there's going to be a new one up over the next couple of days because I just did it yesterday. So.
Well, I love that. And I have to give a beautiful shout out to my creative producer and director, Richard Wilmore, who makes all this magic happen, who is available if you are somebody in the world that wants to create things, whether podcast, website, you name it, you want Rich working with you because he takes all the stress out of it. I have so much more fun knowing that Rich is helping to create some of the most beautiful art I've ever created in the world. So thanks, Rich. Little shout out. Put your, I know you could put your thing up there. Don't be shy.
Thanks, Rich.
You can do it on the replay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody who watched live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are watching and you have questions, we will be checking the posts and things of that nature. We just are so excited. I think I know it. I've been waiting for years to do something with you, Randi. So it's like the best gift ever this year, 2024. It's starting out so much fun.
I agree. Thanks so much.
And thank you for the channeling, and thank the guides for the channeling.
You're welcome.